Behold, this dreamer comes. Joseph, the son of Jacob, who later became the prime minister of Egypt, got into real difficulty as a young man because of his dreams. His childhood was not a particularly happy one. He was raised in a home where there was jealousy, envy, partiality, and even hate. His brothers held hatred in their hearts for him that led to murderous actions. Joseph was not entirely to blame for this. He was the favorite of his father. These older brothers felt that they were second-class members of their own household. This was one of the evil results of living in a society where they practiced polygamy. They harbored no tender feelings toward Joseph, the elder son of Jacob's favorite wife. Their smoldering hatred burst forth into action after Joseph, seemingly without elation and with innocent intention, reported on 2 different dreams that he had had. He told how we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves stood around about and bowed to my sheaf. In Genesis 37, verse 7. Now hastily the brothers saw in this dream an omen that led them to believe that Jacob was going to exalt Joseph to the position of headship over the family at his death, and that the dream was intended to secure something unique in Joseph's native endowment or character that led them to believe that he was superior. It is possible that they recognized a divine significance in this dream that would lead them to believe that he was appointed to leadership. And they reacted with hate and determination that such would not come to fulfillment. Now Joseph has another dream which was interpreted by Jacob to have the same meaning as the first, but with a wider range of significance. This dream concerned the heavenly bodies in which the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed to me. Now this was interpreted as including his father and mother as looking to him in a position of prominence and sovereignty. Jacob, because he understood human nature, and perhaps because he detected the deep resentment of the other brothers, rebuked Joseph. But it is noticeable that he observed the saying. Evidently, he was deeply impressed with the remarkable similar implications of the twice repeated dream, and it is even possible that he had cherished hopes for a fulfillment of them. Now, the study of dreams have been the subject of intense study from the beginning of time. They have been variously thought of as explaining the past, foretelling the future, being omens of good or bad fortune, and as predicting the coming of great events. Extensive studies have been made concerning the nature and significance of dreams during the last 100 years or more. Now, these studies have revealed that every person dreams every night of his or her life. And that as one grows older, there is a decline in the amount of dreaming. Boy, pretty soon some of us will never won't dream at all. These extensive studies have revealed that dreams do have meanings. They reveal much about the person who does the dreaming. A dream is a type of thinking that goes on while one is asleep. According to Freud, who was by no means infallible, dreaming is a primitive form of thinking which expresses the unconscious instinctual wishes and strivings of the individual doing the dreaming. According to the psychoanalytical view of dreams, all dreams can be analyzed and shown to be wish fulfillments. The wish is a designation for a repressed, unconscious, instinctual drive representation that is striving for discharge into consciousness. Dr. Vincent T. Lafbury has said that the stimulus for a dream is often taken from some happening of the previous day. Then by means of symbolism, pictorial representation, displacement, and condensation, this even is used as a backdrop or screen into which are woven the hopes, fears, and deepest strivings of the individual as conditioned by his or her past experiences in life. In other words, what you're thinking about in the daytime, you're going to sleep and think about at night. Just simply put. There is a great variety of opinions and theories concerning the nature and significance of dreams. Many believe that the unconscious mind is responsible for much that happens in life. Some scientists have reported that baffling problems have solved themselves during sleep. Some writers and philosophers say that many of their best passages and ideas come to them in dreams. Some dreams are foolish and even disgusting. Some are nightmares that frighten and disturb sleep. Some are indications of emotional sickness, and others are indications of potential achievement and greatness. Joseph's dreams during his youth reveal something about his destiny in life. His dreams were prophetic. His brothers and his father interpreted them to be indications of the fact that he was the subject of a high destiny. The inspired writer of Genesis interprets these dreams as divine announcements of his future position of exaltation. His dreams were not considered as mere amusing stories, but as indication of what he would do and be in the future. Even in this modern day, in which men say, or they seek to give a logical or psychological explanation of everything, we should not outlaw the thought that God can speak to us in or through a dream. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, it is true that God would speak to us in connection with our deepest hungers and aspirations for that which is good and uplifting. The wise man said, "Where there is no vision, the people perish," in Proverbs 29, verse 18. The Messianic age was described by the prophet as being a time when your old men shall dream dreams and your young men shall see visions, in Joel chapter 2, verse 28. He was not referring to a time when men would be visionary and unrealistic, but rather to the fact that by the help of the Holy Spirit, the children of God would be able to see the divine program for their lives and the lives of others. Now, the potential good that could come through responding to God with faith and faithfulness is so great that it seems to be too good to be true. What are the dreams of your heart? Are they low and degrading? Are they shocking and embarrassing? Would you want them to come true? Would you be a better person if your dreams did come true? The source of Joseph's dream, the thoughts behind these dreams, were probably factors which Joseph's father had placed in his mind. He was the elder son of the wife whom Jacob loved. He would thus possess the right of the firstborn and hold the chief place in the household at the time of Jacob's death. As badge of distinction, he had been given a coat of many colors. He had been taught of the divine purpose for the family. With these teachings from his father, it would not be unnatural for him to dream this type of dream. The significant thing about these dreams for us is that Joseph later realized that they were visions of faith and were actually promises of God. These dreams, at least as far as we understand them from a human standpoint, were made possible by the teachings of a father. Instead of destroying the meaning, this thought should challenge every parent, pastor, teacher, or anyone else who is in a position to influence the thinking of those who need the stimulus of an aspiring and even prophetic dream. We should cherish our dreams, not those wild, fantastic nightmares of the night, but the high ideals inspired by our Christian faith and the glorious promises of the Christian gospel. Joseph was naive and seemingly with complete innocence related the content of his dreams to his brothers and his father. Now, possibly this was done within the family circle during a meal or some other time of relaxation. The brothers reacted immediately with resentment. Can you imagine Can you imagine if Chuck said, I had a dream and everybody in the Harrisboro Baptist Church was going to bow before me? Well, wouldn't you have an awful hate on for him? He just thinks he's so darn good. Wouldn't you have an awful hate on him? Well, his brothers had a hate for him. I mean, it's only natural. This hatred was permitted to fester and finally resulted in murderous thoughts. Because of their hatred, they gave voice to the text and the chilling suggestion, "Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beast has devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dreams then." Instead of actually slaying him, they sold him to slave traders who carried him to Egypt, and there sold him to Potiphar, an officer of the court of Pharaoh. The point should be made that to dream dreams is not enough. This was not the case with Joseph. As he made progress toward his destiny, he not only suffered the resentment of his brothers, but also the loss of the companionship of his father while he was a prisoner in Egypt. While experiencing great success as a servant of Potiphar, he was severely tempted and slandered because he refused to yield to the wanton wishes of Potiphar's wife. He maintained his integrity, and again he suffered by losing his position and being imprisoned. It seemed that he could not win for losing. We've all had days like that, I'm sure. In all of this, it is possible to discern a sterling character of genuine faith and a steady progress in the school of suffering toward his destiny. Joseph was no doubt strengthened and encouraged by the memory of his dreams. Evidently, he maintained his communion with God in spite of discouragement and seeming defeat. He refused to do that which he considered to be a sin against his God and the man for whom he worked. He continued to press on in the University of Hard Knocks, and finally we see him graduating with honors as his God prepared him for his destiny while living in Egypt. And we have the substance of Joseph's dreams. Many modern psychologists would say that our dreams are wish fulfillments. It was because Joseph's dreams embodied his deepest ambitions that they were of real significance. Dreams are meaningful only when they represent the concentrated essence of our deepest waking thoughts, and thus provide an index to our character. Evil thoughts which are permitted to dwell in the mind during our days come into expression in our dreams when there are no restraints or external conditions that would hinder them. It is good to be awake and thank God that the dream was only a fantasy and not an actual deed. Joseph's dreams reveal his aspirations and purpose for being. The consciousness of a high and noble purpose provided a basis for hope and served as a constant challenge to him as he traveled toward his divinely ordained destiny. And what do you dream about? Are your dreams prophetic of your destiny? Do they reveal a character that is pure and unstained by dissipation or the desire to dissipate? Does the content of your dreams indicate a personal awareness of the purpose of God for your life? Does God's plan for your life ever appear in your dreams? Do your dreams serve to challenge you to put forth a more devoted effort to achieve God's high call for your life? If you're not a follower of Jesus Christ, let me suggest that you dream of what it would be like to know Him as your personal Lord and Savior. Do some serious thinking about what you are missing by shutting Him out of your heart and your home. Perhaps your dream will come true. It can, if you will, but receive Him even today. If you have already trusted Christ as Lord and Master, why not dream? Why not dream of following Him fully and cheerfully? Only God knows what can be achieved in and by your life if you would devote yourself to Him to the extent that you dream about Him. Dream some about the home that He would have you to build. Construct some spiritual air castles, and then give yourself to making your dream come true. Behold, the dreamer comes. Have you dreamed any dreams lately? Let me finish with a little poem. Chisel in hand stood a sculptor boy, and his marble block before him, and his eyes lit up with a smile of joy as an angel dream passed o'er him. Carved the dream on that shapeless stone with many a sharp incision. With heaven's own light the sculptor shone. He'd caught that angel vision. Children of life are weak as we stand, with our lives uncarved before us, waiting the hour when at God's command our life dream shall pass o'er us. If we carve it then on the yielding stone with many a sharp incision, its heavenly beauty shall be our own, our lives, that angel vision. Amen.